So number one is there. Number one is there. Put some oil, more oil in here on the top of the thing, and you just do this. So of course you don't want to do this, of course. That's the best things of be live when you're recording. So that goes like that. Turn your camshaft so like this, and you're going to do all of them like that. Number two, some oil again. These parts have been vapor blasted. A bit awkward, I have to say, but there's no any other way you can do that. And of course they've been washed, so there is no oil holding them together anymore. And what's happened, as soon as you put them upside down, the shims just tried to come off, and that's it. Right, so now the best way is to keep that things like that, and if you could just grab your head, of course that's on the bench, different story being on the car, like so, and that's it. Again, make sure the wood block are not in the way of the valve, where the valves are, and you put the bolts in. As simple as that. Of course our friend aircraft always taking off here. Our friends, sorry for the noise. See something happens with the gasket. The gasket is not in the right spot where it should be, and moved. So when you torque those bolts, just make sure you go on diagonal all the time, because you put tension on, so basically you can squish the valves. Plus it's a straight surface, so it doesn't really like to be squint, so you have to make sure you do some dynamic forces all together. And that's it. Right, so now we torque, we set on the vise again. Like so. Maybe what, just with the two studs in. Okay, and torque the bastards. Torque set. I M8 bolts, so they don't go too tight. I'll tell you just in a few seconds how much is the torque set. Through experience, I have to be honest, it's 18 years I'm doing this, so you feel them under your hand if they don't go anymore. So that's the head anyway, all set back in. That's the way it looks like into the cam blocks. And now what we're going to do, we're going to attach the pulley sprocket, camshaft sprocket on, and I'm going to turn the camshaft. We need to measure the gap between the lobe of the cam and the valve itself. Okay? So, all set. So what we need to do, so what do you need actually? What do I use in the bench? A piece of 8mm, internal 8mm fuel hose. With a feeler gauge, and unfortunately you need one of them, which is really expensive if you buy the full box, but of course you can work out yourself how many do you need of the shims to adjust the valves. So what you do here, so they go 40 of a mil for the intake, which is the middle one in that case in this engine. The intake is here, and 0.50 of a mil on the exhaust, which are the two external. So what you have to make sure is that they're both shut on the cylinder, like so. So in that case I'm doing the first cylinder on the timing belt side. So you have to make sure you're set like so, because on a not conventional straight 4 engine you balance the number 4, meaning finish exhaust start intake for number 4, and you check cylinder number 1 for engine that have the fire order 1342. Okay, in that case we have the fire order as 1324. okay, that's the fire order for the flat 4 boxer engine. Right, so what we do first, get the filler gauge in. I normally do a thing which I got a small Sharpie pen. Basically I'm marking myself what is the gap on the head itself, actually on the cam box itself, to just make your life easy basically. So we start with 35, we'll see where it goes. 35 is too loose, so 7 is too big. 50, 50 looks okay. Let's try 55. It's actually, I'm lucky enough that number 50, sorry, the number 1 is exhaust, and it goes 0.50. I've got just bang on 50. That's important when you dismantle valves. Always try to put the same stuff where it was, otherwise it's time consuming basically. In that case I replaced all valves, so actually that's really lucky we got that in that case. But anyway, I will keep changing the shims because we're going to put brand new shims in anyway, because they've got 39 years old shims in. So what I'll now do on this, that's what I normally do on this side. I'll try to set the camera the best as I can, just to show you guys what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do, open the valve in that case and shove the piece of rubber hose right between the valve seat and the valve as far as you can and turn it. So in that case what we have here now is that amount of gap that helps. See how much gap I've got here. So what you have to do as well, turn the bucket. There's a small cat here, right there, and you just pop the shims out. Okay. Small screwdriver and a magnet. Small screwdriver and a magnet, that's what you need. You just go in there and watch that screwdriver is just ever so slightly just too big. So that's your shims out again. So it's written 370, but normally or you have a deal gauge with a setup to measure them, or you need a micrometer, which is this. This is a millimeter one. Sorry, it's in millimeter, not inches. And just, yeah, because they've been there to be slightly worn, we'll just double check them if are the right one. Yeah, it's ever so slightly, about 0.02 of a mil out worn. So yeah, but anyway, we put a brand new 370 in it, and we'll take him from there. So 370 should be those ones. 370, 420, 370, 265, 370. Right. Brand spanking new 370. We shove it in. Again, make sure you're going to use your magnet, because what will happen if you lost it, that will go under the cam, and it's a bit of a pain because you have to fish it again out. So do this. I normally put the number back underneath, so in the future make your life easier if you're going to be there again, instead if you don't have the measurement. So that it's okay. I normally do this, so I write 50, so it tells me that's 50 bang on. Now we do the intake one. Before we do that, we're just taking the our pipe off, our helper off. So open the valve, take the rubber hose off, and that's it. And we check again just in case if we have. Right, so that should be 50, precise 50, because as I say, they were 0.2 of a mil, so that's perfect bang on 50. Okay, and same story you do with them all. So I'll come back to you when I'm finished, and I'm going to put the head on the engine block. Okay.